Guys, it's time to modify the Baja Rey. I'm putting the Hobbywing Max 10 140 amp with a 4000 kV motor. That's going in here. And also I'm gonna dig into the steering. I'm not sure what I'm gonna find there, but something's got to happen with that. Let's get to the table. We've seen the Max 10 ESC on here before. Oh, when you order these things, make sure you get these little wonderful little seals right here. Those mean they are authentic. I order mine either from AMAIN or directly from Hobbywing. And you can check the description. I will put links down below for all this stuff. As you guys should already know that, right? So here is the ESC. It's got an XT60 plug on it. I may end up changing this out to XT90. Not sure just yet. But yeah, there's your 140 amp Max 10. So the first thing I've got to do is take the body off so we can get to the underside. Probably can just take the chassis loose underneath. Let's just start digging at this thing and find out what happens. Hood comes off, the cab should be loose. No, I gotta take more off up top here, don't I? With those loose right here and here, I get to pull the cab off. Now, in case you're wondering what's on the background, I'm trying a new thing. I'm trying to live stream my build on TikTok. So, yeah, wish me luck. With the body off and all that, now I get to dig down and deeper. Just getting to the motor, if I was just swapping the motor, it's super easy. It's right underneath the bottom of this thing right here. I mean, you can just take the plate loose and it comes right out. But I got to get to that ESC hidden way up into there. I want to get the steering servo down into there. I want to get to all that stuff so we can check it out. So I guess I'm going to try to take the entire cage loose, and I believe it comes off right over here, kind of like the large ones, the Super Baja Rey. You kind of take all this loose right here, and you can take the cage off of it. So for a simple motor change, that's it. You can get to them super easy on here. Got to watch the heat sink. It will hang you up a little bit, but it's a really nice heat sink. Hopefully it fits the new motor. Well, after a lot of figuring things out, I took a whole bunch of bolts loose. I probably shouldn't have, but I got the cage off right here. And the servo, the steering on this thing, I can actually feel the, golly, that is just bad. This is where all the slop is coming from. Okay, I've got to put a servo on this thing. I've got to do something here because that is really bad. Okay, let's look at this. I've got literal slop in the servo. It feels like it's all in the horn right here. Hopefully you guys can see this. Can you see that? The servo motor itself is not turning. Yeah, that's not good. Okay, so the stock steering is pretty bad. This servo right here is gone. I'm taking this servo out. I'm going to put a raw 500 in it. Ultimately, this is going to come back out of this particular vehicle. I'm going to put a 299 in it. I feel this will be better for a 299. This right here is going to be overkill. Now, in some previous Losi and axial things, I've got these little adapters right here. Now, I was able to push the stock 23 out of the stock horn and push a 25 in there, so I can actually use a raw 500 in this thing for steering. That's not to say the stock linkage or steering is going to be a whole lot better, but I'm pretty sure it will be, just because this is just such a tighter setup right here. And while I'm in here changing everything out, I may as well change the receiver and all that too. Go ahead and go to what I know, and that would be a GT5, because that still has the best gyro on the market. It really does. Okay, I've got this centered up. Everything is ready to go. Tightened up. Hopefully it tightens everything up here. This will be the tail right here. Okay, the servo is in place. Let's try this out. Okay, all of this is solid now. Where I've got the slop is up inside the bell crank there. You can actually see that flexing and moving. See if you can see this here. So yeah, servo is going to help, but yes, I've still got slop here in the bell cranks. Okay, so now that I've got this in place, now let's go ahead and get the motor in place and see if that heat sink and all will actually work. Since I'm putting the stock pinion gear back in place, I'm going to go right back into the exact same holes. But the motor comes off, then the heat sink comes off, the heat sink goes onto the new motor, and here we go. Now the new motor is a little bit longer, so that's going to allow, I hope, this to actually fit right here. Now here you can actually see the difference in motor length. It's around 5 millimeters. If you guys recall, this was about maybe 0.5 millimeter larger in diameter on the motor, so it fits quite a bit tighter, and that's a good thing. Let me show you guys a little trick that I've learned here. You put a little bit of thread lock, just a little bit on the shaft of the motor. You don't want a lot, because if you put too much on there, it'll actually, if you stand the motor up and it gets into the motor bearing, you're kind of toast. Turn it on here. You want that thread lock all the way around the motor shaft, all right? And then you go ahead and put some on the set screw, just like you would normally. This is just a medium right here, so nothing special. But when you tighten all this down, which I'm not going to tighten it down too much right now, because I got to get the depth of this thing set right. It'll actually help lock the pinion gear in place. Less chance of this thing coming loose. Now, usually when you got to remove the pinion gear, you got to pry the thing off. Okay, so for this particular motor, you just set it pretty much flush with the end of the motor shaft, and it actually lines up perfectly inside the gearbox. Now, I did notice a little bit of an issue. Since this motor is a little bit larger in diameter, I was actually kind of a pain to get this thing in and out of the skid right over here. So I might do a little bit of something on these, just kind of shave those down a little bit with a file. This is the end result of all that filing. Hopefully it'll fit down into here. Let's see. Looking good, looking good. Perfect. There we go. The motor is in place. Everything fits. I've got clearance for all my wires. This is beautiful. I think I'm going to put the ESC down here like this. I can put it right here. It's not going to get in the way of the battery or anything like that. I have a much better area to glue it on as well. So that's where I'm going to glue this thing. The ESC is in place. Now I want you guys to see the pictures and little clips of what I did to make the XT90 fit right here. Had to do some cutting on it, had to do some trimming, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Got everything centered up. The top piece goes on it. Everything goes on. I've got a 3S in here. I want you guys to look underneath this thing too. Look at this right here. Oh, let me get that door closed. Boom, right there. Now I'm gonna show it to you a little bit better here. Right here, plugs right into here. Look at that. Done. Let's see how strong it is. That's good enough. Because when you land this thing from, whatever height you're jumping it, and you slam this thing down, you don't want gravity unplugging that. That's nice. That worked out really good. I'm really happy with how that worked out. Let's look at the steering now. Turn this thing on. I've not adjusted the ESC at all. It's still stock 6 volts or whatever it is comes out of it. Watch this right here. Now, as nice as that is, you gotta look at this too. The servo is not given. The servo is not given. This plastic arm is still flexing, and I'm gonna try to show. Let me get zoomed in on this right here. With the truck on and the servo holding, look at all the flex. That is so bad. That is so bad. Maybe that flex is supposed to be the servo saver. I don't know. But that is horrible. But I mean, that's a lot nicer. Now that we're looking at this, I'm gonna go ahead and hook the BTA Bluetooth adapter thing up to this right here and turn the voltage up. Here we go. First thing I'm gonna adjust is this. Looks like we can only go 7.4 volts. Maximum brake force of 75. Bump that up a little bit. Maximum reverse force. I want more reverse. 75 on that. Punch. I really am not sure that the truck itself is going to handle well, but I'll bump that up just 1 on the punch. 0 drag brake. Initial throttle force. Turbo timing. We're not messing with any of that, so we should be ready to go. Now, with 7.4 volts, mucho more better. I like that. So we are ready to go here. Ooh. Once you've got the plastic cage put in place, now it's time to connect it to the chassis and bolt it right back in. Now we get to start putting the body on. And there are a few of these right here, and they are different. Good luck with this. Well, at this point, I'm assuming I've got them on correctly. I did take the lights off, so I had to do a little bit of work up here with some bolts and washers, but there it is. Well, that went a little bit more than what I anticipated. The bell crank has got to come out. I've got to get the Vidivon one in there. Too much flow, too much movement, all that stuff. It's like it's made of rubber, okay? But the 4,000 kV is in. The 140 amp max 10 ESC is in. A raw 500 is in this thing. I'm really curious to see how this thing drives, along with the GT5 radio. Yeah, that's in there. The back pieces are gone, so I can have access to all that stuff. So yeah, the system is in. Now I get to go drive it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe I was able to show you a little bit of something about it. Links are below for all this stuff. So guys, check that description, use those links, hit that subscribe, ring that bell, and thank you all for watching. You're awesome. I'm going to drive once I start that video. Catch you later. Guys, you made it to the end. This is awesome. Thank you so much. You guys making it to the end of the video means so much to me. I mean, for real. Consider joining, becoming a member for just $2 a month. That's the cheapest way to go. In the description are affiliate links, eBay, eBay, Amazon. You guys know all the stuff on that. But yeah, guys, it means a lot that you're here and you're listening to this right now. And I want you to have a great day.